Welcome to the Wake.Show. As everybody knows, a show needs an intro. This is that intro. Fisher in the foreground, Sam in the back. Are the dogs in place? I see that Joey is, but Roxy isn't. Well, it's a good thing that the camera's not on Roxy right now. How you doing this morning, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
Let me zoom in on you a little bit there. Welcome to the Wake.Show, everybody. My name is Chris Fisher. Happy, it's Monday. As you see in the body there on the Facebook page, I wrote Monday again. Mondays suck. It doesn't matter. And I know most of you already been at work for, at least a few hours. But I don't know. Today just seemed a little extra blah trying to get out of bed. And then, whatever, no, never mind. Because I was going to get right into personal stuff, between me and my wife, and I should probably just leave it between she and I. But I can't now that I brought it up. So, I annoy her, right? I annoy her when I leave too many dishes in the kitchen or in the sink. Classic married couple stuff. And so this morning, she's heading out the door, and have a good. I don't even know if she said I had a good day. This, and then and don't leave me 3,000 dishes in the for me to blah 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 blah. So that's the way my day started, right? As she's walking out the door, and so for her, it's no big deal. She and I are very different personalities. For that kind of stuff, it's water off a duck back. For me, it's a kick in the balls. And it just gets me, and Monday was already hard enough. I'm like, oh my fucking God, it's Monday. I'm expecting as we're leaving this morning, as she and I we're going, hey, love you too. Have a great day. It's Monday, and obviously she's got some stuff on her mind. We need to. Because what it comes down to, one of the reasons why it's such an issue is because we see it differently too. I think that the dishes should get scraped off, rinsed off, put in the dishwasher, and then every, whether it's a day, 2 days, 3 days, no longer than 3 days, you wash the damn things, right? And she sees it the other way. And but the thing is, we're not on the same page. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. The dishes are going to get, but for her, it's driving her goddamn insane. So that's how today. And again, it's just a very, very little thing. But I didn't want to get out of bed today. I was already not wanting to get out of bed today. It was already difficult enough as it is. I'm very excited that I'm finally having I think it's tomorrow. I don't want to set myself up and then all of a sudden be depressed. But I think tomorrow, Sam, is my first appointment with a shrink.
Okay.
All right.
That's positive.
That's it. Wait. Oh, shit.
Please tell me it wasn't today.
Please don't tell. Hold on a second. Hold on a second here.
I'm holding.
I could have swore it's come. Oh, wait. No, it's Thursday. Son of a bitch. That is not quick enough. I mean, it's going to be just fine.
Better than today, and you missed it.
Well, no, I didn't see it on the calendar. Then I was freaking out that it was last week, and I missed it altogether. So, Doug, Chris, how you doing? Mel, Blake, Jeff, I hope you guys had a great weekends. And welcome. Let's pull up stuff you should. Before we get into On This Day with Sam and your quote of the day.
Mm-hmm. My computer decides to randomly turn off nowadays, so it just did that. So I'm just staring at the screen, and then we could do the quote of the day once it decides
Monday.
To turn back on.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Use your technology. Reminders, bro. Well, that's what I did. That's why I was freaking out. For some reason, I thought it was today, but I guess it's Thursday. Because there is a doctor's appointment on the calendar for today. It's just not mine. So, check up from the neck up. That is me, buddy. It was great to see you, Kurt. Kurt came out to Masteries last Thursday night, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and just to stop by and to say hi, and it was really good to see you, buddy.
Oh, I had to tell you something interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was on Facebook a couple days ago, and I guess one of those Tampa Bay socialite pages, stuff to do in Tampa Bay or something, right, posted a promotion for Park and Rec. And a bunch of people were commenting, and they're like, you need to go to this. This is the new spot in Tampa. Everyone needs to go to this place. So
it is. It's
very cool. I saw that and I was like, huh.
It's hopping.
Yeah.
There at Park and Rec.
So you might see a spike in attendance because those pages, that had 1 million views or something.
Jeez. All right. So Wednesday night, be ready to put
fight.
Put your karaoke shoes on, and that's what I'm out there every single Wednesday night. But I get the place is real. I've never been there on a weekend when it's actually at full capacity and really.
I really want to go.
Park and Rec downtown St. Pete. They got an entire corner there or a block. It's a really cool entertainment area. So Monday should be a national stay in bed and cuddle with your dog day.
I agree.
Loving Life Shriner still miss the Fisher and Shriner duo coming from Jeff. Jeff used to watch us and listen to us when we were at AM 820. Shriner's still over there. He's just not. He's management, and then does news and then fill-ins when people are taking time off and stuff like that. We did have a good thing, man. We had a really good thing. I think we were having really good, meaningful conversation on the air that was also pseudo entertaining. Or at least, whatever. And I don't know. It's a shame. It's too bad. But here we are. Welcome to the Wake.Show.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into stuff you should know, let's go ahead and pull. Well, before we get into On This Day, let me show you what's on stuff you should know today. All right. So, very excited about this. Alien skeleton mystery finally solved. Spoiler. They don't think it's an alien. It's a shame. Son of a. But we'll go over that. Did you watch the Stormy Daniels thing last night, Sam?
I didn't, but I'm really interested to hear what came out of it.
We'll go over some of that. It was really annoying because we were over at a friend's house for his birthday, and 60 Minutes was getting ready to come on. We both like to follow the issues of the day and chat it up. And so we go get in front of the television, and we're all excited. We flip it on. It's that GD basketball game, Duke and Kansas. And now, for those of you that are huge, basketball, sport, normal people who one of the billion of people that are participating in March Madness, you're thinking I'm an idiot. But there's nothing more annoying than on Sundays when you're trying to go watch your Simpsons and your Family Guys, and the damn recorder's all thrown. We got the technology to do so many things. Can't you put some kind of AI in our DVRs so it knows when a game goes too long, so it can record the important shows like the Simpsons and Family Guy, or 60 Minutes in this case? Heard that quote. What, did somebody already give us a quote of the day? Oh, that stay in bed and cuddle with the dog day.
I have the quote of the day.
Heard that quote of the day. All right. Sam will get to the quote of the day coming up a little bit. Okay. All right. Also, so the Stormy Daniels thing finally comes on, and then but it's too late. Then I have to drive home, get up this morning to watch it. Have to fast forward through overtime, of course, and then it cut off. I didn't get to see the whole thing. So that, I guess I actually saw the whole everything that she was in, but they continued the piece after they came back from the break. Oh, check out the cool karaoke shoes. No way. Is there actually karaoke shoes? What? They're actually called karaoke. The designer is Naut, N-A-O-T, Naut. I wish I could pull this up. I'll bring it up over here for you so you can see it. And they're, what do they call these things? Mandals? Sandals?
Yeah. It kind of just looks like a sandal.
It is, and it's a $150 sandal. So hold on a second.
Of course it is.
Let me show you this. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Chris. Now I got to show everybody. Oh, speaking of Stormy Daniels, interviewed her back in the day. This was a couple years after the alleged affair with Donald Trump, and this was before. This was 2009, so it was before she was allegedly threatened to keep the story quiet, and after she had the affair. So. I'm just going to play some because she's she really is an interesting person. If you watch this, we're talking to her about porn and about directing porn, and it's just weird because it's so professional, and I don't even know how to describe it other than she's very professional. Paul, how you doing? Cheryl. All right, so Chris, let me do this before we move on. Thank you very much for getting us sidetracked here. So. There are karaoke sandals. Hey, welcome back. Uh-oh. He's come up here with a force. Are you back? Are you back to challenge me? Hold on a second. Before we... Something's happened here in the studio that I'll turn the cameras on here in a moment. So here they are. Up on the screen now. And those are karaoke sandals. So now you know. When I was joking around saying, put on your karaoke shoes and come on out, there literally are karaoke shoes, and these are $119. The other ones I saw were $149. Now, that being said, let's bring in... Oh, wait, I got to get the camera on. It's still the puppy cam. Here we go. Grab a microphone, Cords.
Is this one? Does this one have a bad ground?
There does turn it on. Oh, not today.
Good. All right.
Not today.
What the hell? That's odd. All right. Anyway, Cords, welcome back into the studio. Let me pull off my stuff you should know. And this is a surprise, as it was on Friday when you came in here.
Yeah, Friday was extremely embarrassing. I actually was a little small state of depression there for a while.
I would imagine so. So if you guys,
I would imagine so.
Well, I felt bad by the end of it. Because
it's like I have a learning disability when it comes to spelling.
So on Friday when Cords came in here, well, actually Sam, which I thought was brilliant, dragged him up here and for a spelling bee, and I still don't know where it came from, but I loved that we did it. That we were doing it because I can get too serious with stuff, and I like that. So she drags Cords in, and he and I
didn't drag him. He wanted to come up. I was trying to drag Mike up here because it came from talking to Mike because he's not a very good speller.
Mike is just as bad. Well, maybe he's probably a better speller than I am, but he also has the affliction.
So this did stem from something.
Yes. Cords was just the one who wanted to come up here. We got to get Mike up here somehow.
So he comes up, and then she pulls up allegedly a spelling bee from sixth graders, and Cords didn't get any of the first 5 right, and I got all 5 right, didn't I? Or did I get 4 out of 5 or something like that?
You got all 5. You thought I said cinnamon instead of synonym, which is understandable.
Oh, no. You don't have to patronize me. That is hilarious. That she says spell synonym, and I spell cinnamon. Wait, cinnamon. Cinnamon. Thank you, cinnamon. So Cords, what brings you back in here today? Is it her, or is this under your own free? What's happening?
No, I just popped up here. I went to a pretty special event on Saturday.
Okay.
And it was crazy. It was crazy what we actually witnessed.
So this is the event where you saw, who was it? Jerry Rice?
Yeah, Jerry Rice got engaged at this event.
All right. Explain.
The daughter, the lady who, I guess, executive director of the DeBartolo Foundation, she was up and giving her address, talking about the impact that they have with the charities that they work with. And she goes, and I have one more announcement that nobody knows is coming, but I need a volunteer. And she goes, do I have any volunteers? And Jerry Rice stands up, and she's like, oh, yes, the greatest receiver in the history of football. Come on up here. And he goes, but I would like for my girlfriend to come up too. And so she kind of stands behind him off to the side, and he goes, I just wanted to, in front of everyone here, just talk about how much I appreciate her, and over the last 11 years that we've been together, it's been quite special, and I just have 4 little words. And so I was like, "Will you marry me?" And I'm like,
so you saw this coming? You saw this coming?
Yeah, and so I look at my table, and I'm like going, he's about to propose. And so then he goes, whatever her name was, he got down on a knee and said, "Will you marry me?" And it was just like, holy moly,
that's
like
cool.
That just happened.
Yeah.
It was wild. And there were, like, I would say there's probably 300-400 people there. And I would say 50 of them were filming it with their cell phones. So I'm sure it's somewhere if you want to pull it up.
Jerry Rice proposes.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's posted it on social media. But it was surreal that we saw that.
It's not coming up. Proposes, videos. There, I got it.
Somebody posted it already.
You get one guess.
It's on TMZ Sports.
TMZ Sports. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that's it.
Here we go. I've got 4 words for you. Here we go. Put this. Oh, of course. But
the Waterside Marriott Hotel in Tampa.
Let's hear about these Nissans.
Yeah. From a child.
Yeah. Exactly. Let me tell you about the entertainment package in my Nissan. My mom's
Yeah. All right. Enough. Here we go.
And I have 4 words that I want to say to you.
Marry me.
There you are, Cords.
No,
That was you. That's you right there.
Oh my God, that is the back of my head.
you.
Holy proof, I was
This woman that
there.
has supported me for so many years. Letitia. We're going to exclude that one.
Wait, what did we miss? What was the joke? Do you remember the joke?
And I want to say
I cannot believe that.
Do you,
There's Coors.
do you remember the joke he said right there? I couldn't quite hear it.
I don't remember it.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can hear it again.
Marry me.
Wait, let's go back to the beginning because that's Cords right
I
here. That's
know,
so
you're
awesome.
famous.
That is his head.
Yeah, I'm on TMZ, y'all.
That's funny.
and I have 4 words
That is Cords' head
You're
right
like,
here.
he's gonna propose.
That is so hilarious.
that I want to say to you.
Marry me.
And somebody goes, "Will you marry me?"
Might
But it
have
wasn't you. Was that your wife?
I don't know, but I told
It
my
might have been
table.
Haley.
Yeah, it could have been Haley.
That is too
Yeah.
funny.
That's so.
Yeah, that was my camera crew. Must have been there with me.
That is so cool.
That I want to say to this woman that have supported me for so many years. Letitia. We're going to exclude that one. Will you marry me?
That is cool, man. That is cool. It's even cool. I don't even care that Jerry Rice proposed. I think it's cooler that you're on camera. I pull up the thing from TMZ and there's his head right there in front of the
I didn't
camera.
plan that, I promise.
Oh, I'm
That's-
sure. Or wait,
Yeah.
or did you set that all?
No. Yeah,
They'll go to TMZ. I know they will. And they'll be my head.
Yeah, I know, right. Yeah, check out my bald spot.
No, that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I don't even care that Jerry Rice got married anymore. I'm just ecstatic. I'm overjoyed that you were in the TMZ video.
Yeah, that's
And it's funny because you hear somebody counting it out. I wonder if it was your wife going, because you said you went, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah.
And you hear somebody go, "Will?" She didn't go,
I think
"Will
it
you
was
marry me?"
Haley.
It might have
sounded
been.
like her.
"Will you marry me?" You could hear them counting it out loud. That was so funny. That is great, man.
You better get your royalties from being in that video.
yeah, no,
They
that's my
posted
first
all
time on
over.
TMZ to my knowledge.
So this was a DeBartolo charity function over the
That's
weekend.
right.
That's
That's
awesome.
right.
I got a text from him too. He texted me. He goes, "I just witnessed Jerry Rice proposing to his girlfriend."
That's awesome.
That was really cool. And then right after he sends me and then afterwards he sends me this.
Sure.
No, I'm gonna play what you sent me this morning. Actually.
Oh yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, Chunky.
Chucky.
Chucky.
Okay, in the video I'm getting ready to play you, it's just one of those short little things from the internet that is hilarious. But in the video, I guess Chucky bit this little girl's head. All right, I don't know who Chucky is. If it's her, but here we go. Well, I want to make sure this comes through. Uh-oh, now we're... Why? Oh, I bet you... Hold
It
on.
says it's muted on the video.
Yeah, I'll get it. That's right. Oh, the video itself
Yeah,
is
like
muted?
there's the little audio stream is muted.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Thank you. Here we go. All right, look at your screens. Here we go.
Who bit your head?
Chocolate. Fucking chocolate.
Watch again.
Who bit your head?
Chocolate. Fucking chocolate.
Oh my god.
Who
Time.
bit your head?
Yeah. So I think the lesson there is that your kids are always paying attention to what you're doing
So
as parents.
funny.
They are, and the funny thing about that is, you know, when you're trying to teach your kids things, the more emotion behind it, the more they're going to retain it. So if you were just to walk around the house going, blah, 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 and dropping the F-bomb, the kid might never pick up. But usually when we're using curse words, there's an emotion behind it so that you see it in her face. She looks like a little adult. You can tell.
She
in that,
sounds like an adult. It's funny.
you can tell in that moment she is channeling either her mom or her dad or her grandmother or something like that. Fucking Chucky.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was great.
Yeah.
All right. So after feeling like embarrassed in here on Friday,
That's right.
you on Saturday night when you're sitting there witnessing a moment where the greatest receiver of all time proposes to his girlfriend, you got to feel a little bit better. Go. The universe balances things out. Sometimes you're the.
Yeah, no, I mean, I compartmentalize it a little bit more. Like, I just want to get back in here and do like trivia or something like that.
All right.
So,
Today?
sure,
You want to do it today?
sure, whenever.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Sam has trivia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
ready
want
to
to
go.
put you on the spot.
What kind of trivia?
Listen here, don't
just
you
like
punk
general
me.
trivia?
Don't you punk me. I'll just have her pull up some random stuff and we'll see
I'm
how we
just
do.
gonna Google general trivia.
All right. Should it be like, smarter than a fifth grader stuff? So you're doubling that. So you want to come in today and go,
We'll do it. I mean, but you're really smart, Chris. You don't give yourself enough credit. I mean, you're a pretty witty guy.
well,
You have a lot of intelligence.
Thank you. It's in there somewhere.
Okay, this is interesting. General trivia.
General trivia?
Yeah. This is just from everywhere though, so I'm just gonna read you the questions.
All right. So what do we do then? She'll read the questions and then you and I will chime in using our names as our buzzer. Either
Okay.
Chris or Cords.
Okay.
And the reason I'm not going with Fisher on this one is because the K in Cords is harder than the F in Fisher, and so she'll be the judge and she will hear the K before she hears the F.
Okay.
So Cords,
works.
Chris, and then we get a chance to answer. We'll get 1 point per
Okay.
question. And if that person gets it wrong, who chimed in first, they only get one guess. The other person gets to steal.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody like the rules?
Yeah.
Anything else before we start, Cords?
Let's roll.
Don't
baby.
get mad at me for these questions. It says they're general trivia, so
I just hope they're not pop culture.
no, it's just like everything.
Okay, let's roll.
All right. What temperature does water boil
Chords.
at?
Either 100 Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit.
Correct. It's 100 Celsius.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
1 point
that.
for him. All right, you need to keep... all right, so 1 to 0. Go ahead.
Okay. When did the First World War start?
Chords. 1914.
Correct.
Son of a 2-0.
He definitely memorized this website.
I don't even know where
I think you guys colluded beforehand, and you felt so bad after Friday for making him look, dumb on live streaming that you were like, "Hey, Cords, here's some answers. Come back in on Monday."
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Which German city is famous for the perfume it produces?
Fisher.
Yes.
Cologne.
Correct.
2-1.
Okay. Some of these are a little.
By the way, I'm getting all the answers from the message board here. From the.
Oh my gosh.
Here we
It
go.
can't be that fast.
All right. What did the crocodile swallow in Peter Pan?
Chords.
Fisher. Cords. Chris. Damn it.
Course.
The captain's hand.
No. Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh well. Do we steal it?
Yeah,
Wait, I know
How's
what
that
it is
work?
now. I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
A clock.
Yes.
2-2. Right.
Yes, 2-2.
Okay, 2-2.
At least
How
I'm
many
on the
we-
board this week.
How many of these are we doing?
First to 5.
First to
Sure.
5. Okay, first
Okay.
to 5. Keep going.
Who did Lady Diana Spencer marry?
Chris.
Okay.
Prince Charles.
Correct.
All right, 3-2.
Let's see. Scroll down a little bit.
Are you? Is that sweat I see coming down your brow there? It's a little.
Yeah.
Okay. When did the Second World War end?
Chris.
Yes.
1943.
Wrong.
Chords. 1945.
Correct.
Son of a
You were close.
3. Don't patronize me, Sam.
You were close.
I think anybody could have been within 2 years of that. All right,
All
next.
right. Let's see.
What are we at now? 3-3. Okay, 3-3.
Yeah. Ooh, this one's hard. How many dots are there on 2 dice?
Chris.
Yes.
How much time do I have to add them all
Trying to
up?
visualize.
21.
Wrong.
Son of a. Cord, you got it?
Yeah, I'm just not doing the math. We can go to the next question.
Next one. It's 42.
42?
Yeah.
2 dice. So you did.
Oh, on
21.
two
You did
dice.
it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did
Oh,
it
I
right.
didn't- I didn't hear it right. Sorry.
It's all right.
3-3.
Let's see. What's the name of the big famous clock in London?
Chris.
Chords.
Chris.
Big Ben.
Correct.
4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
One more, Cords. One more.
Which planet is nearest to the sun?
Chris.
Chords.
Chris.
Mercury.
Correct.
5-3.
See, I told you you're smart.
You know, I also have done these games before on the radio and on podcasts, And I will say there is one little trick to it.
Well, you just put your name in
Right.
first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently
Right.
because there's no penalty for getting it wrong.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we'll have to make the
Yeah,
rules
we'll
a little
have
more
to
interesting.
alter
All right.
it.
Tomorrow, same time, same place.
Sure.
We'll keep going until you win.
No, I mean, we can go now.
All right. How about this? Or now? Or do you want to start? Now.
No, let's go. I'm sure the audience is.
All right.
losing
First one to
interest.
10. First one to 10.
No, we're
Just
only
go.
one away. Let's go, baby. I can rally.
Wait, I thought that was 5.
Oh, that is 5.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
sure.
why he's saying to 10.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, 10. That's fine.
All right. First one to 10. Here we go.
All right, I'll try to. This is like the advanced round. I'll do some of the harder ones.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's see. Who wrote The Ugly Duckling?
Chris.
Okay, go ahead.
Rudyard Kipling.
Wrong. You want to take a guess? All right.
Aesop.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Son of a. Still 5-3.
Who sang White Christmas?
Chris.
Yes. Chris.
All right. That was Bing Crosby.
Correct.
I'm dreaming of a 10-4 win.
You're so cruel. All right. Which country gave Florida to the U.S.?
Chris.
Yes.
Spain.
Correct.
7-4. 7-3. Come on, Cords.
I know the answers to these questions. You're just
Just-
faster on the buzzer.
No, just yell out the name and then trust. Yell out your name and trust that
right.
you'll figure it out before I start making fun of you.
What's the capital of Ecuador?
So you can have that one, Cords.
I don't know.
Chris. San Pablo.
False.
What is it?
Quito?
Okay. There we go.
I wouldn't have known that one. So,
Next.
what's the hardest rock?
Quartz, diamond.
Correct.
Ooh, well done. So that's 7-4. 7-4. Don't call it a comeback. You've been here for years.
This one's kind of hard. What's the first letter on a typewriter? Don't look at
Quartz.
your keyboard.
Q.
Good
Q.
job.
Yep.
7-5.
Nice.
What's
What-
the next letter?
W.
What's the next letter?
E.
QWERTY.
Then R, then T, then Y. All right, go ahead.
What nationality was Marco Polo?
Chords. Portuguese. No, Italian.
You keep Marco Polo.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, I get a guess.
okay.
I get a guess. And I'm gonna wait until it pops up on my screen here. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's go with Italian.
Correct.
All right. I know you started to throw Italian out there. I wanted to mull it over,
Yeah,
but I mean
no,
Marco.
I was thinking Christopher Columbus for
Yeah.
a second. I
That's
got
what
him
I thought.
confused. Yeah.
Did you guys see the story on Friday here locally where the cop killer that was sentenced to death, or they thought was sentenced to death at first, and then the judge said no, they've read this wrong. He's only sentenced to life. But that guy's name is Marco, like Perillo or something like that, and the judge at one point accidentally called him Marco Polo. I guess that wasn't a really fun story to interject into a guy that killed a cop and then didn't get life. Next story. Where are we? 8.
8-4, I believe.
8-4.
Yes,
All right,
8-4.
next.
What year did Elvis Presley die?
Chords. 1977.
Correct.
Ooh, nice. 8-5.
Let's see. Who starts first in chess?
Chords.
The home team? I don't
Black.
even know.
Black.
The home team.
Black.
White? I guess. I don't play chess, so
Wait, what?
Is
it
white
says
the
white.
answer?
Yeah, it says white's the answer. I don't
So
play
you
chess.
didn't even
so
give
I
me a
don't
chance
know.
to steal then. I wasn't even allowed to steal.
There's only 2 colors in chess, isn't there?
I- yeah.
By default.
Well,
You would've-
maybe
I mean,
the
I
answer,
guess.
Maybe the answer was home team.
The home team.
All right, so still 8-4. Next.
How many squares are there on a chessboard?
Chris. 144.
Chords?
I'll go with 100.
64.
8 and 8. All right. Next.
Let's see. What's the largest ocean?
Chords. Pacific.
Correct.
Well done. That's 8-5.
6.
8-6.
8-6.
Oh shit.
8-6,
Oh
yeah.
shit. I better get on it.
Oh no. Who painted the Sistine Chapel?
Chris.
Oh, that was at the same time.
That was a close one.
Michelangelo.
So you just went ahead and took it. all right.
You got it.
All right.
8-7?
8-7.
Yeah.
Oh
Ooh.
crap.
Let's see. When did the American Civil War end?
Chords, 1865.
You're good at history.
Damn. 8-8. Son of a... You guys did this on purpose. You set this up.
How many children has Queen Elizabeth II got?
Chris.
Yes.
4.
Correct.
Because I knew that. I didn't guess. 9-8.
Let's see.
Also, on stuff like that, since there's no penalty, one of the things, you can throw out your answer. And if it's just, you're picking a number or you got 2 choices, just go for it and try to be the first one in. That was strategy. I didn't know anything about it.
I'm learning.
9-8.
What horoscope sign has a crab?
Chris.
Chords.
Chris.
Cancer.
Correct.
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
That was a good one, though. That was a good game.
Good game.
That's not one to be embarrassed about. I would have been the one embarrassed had you come back and hunted me down from 8-3 or whatever that was.
If we do dates
I'm a
and
rookie,
history questions.
Yeah.
Well, I like this. Once a week?
Sure.
If we did history questions and like dates, I feel like you'd be done for though. He got all the history questions.
And I only got the pop culture ones?
You got a good deal of everything
was a pop
else.
Culture.
Yeah, you got a pop culture one. Yeah, you're right. If real hard facts from history, you're probably right.
Wars and like dates.
Yeah,
He knew all the British royalty questions, so he probably follows that pretty closely.
Right, yeah.
Probably.
All right. How about this, Chords? Because, you got a busy schedule, so I don't want to, it's not going to be easy to tie you down to every day. But I do trivia, obviously, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so it would make sense to tie into my trivia night if you were to come in on Tuesday.
Sure, that sounds good.
All right. So we'll plan on Tuesday's trivia between you and I. And then we'll figure out how to take it to the next level, because at some point we got to
I want us to get buzzers.
Get buzzers?
I want to get
Real
buzzers. They're like the plastic ones on Amazon. I'm sure they're like a couple dollars.
I'm sure there's an app.
Oh, there's sure. I'm
Maybe
sure
flashlights.
there's an
We
app.
light up our face or something.
The room gets dark and you light up your face.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Cords, thank you very much.
Oh,
how do you feel today? You feel a little bit better?
No, I mean it's definitely good. I mean, spelling is the worst for me. But I mean, I knew all of your answers except for the Queen Elizabeth one.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Queen Elizabeth. I just took a stab at it.
Yeah.
Figured it was a solid number.
The first one, though, I mean, maybe there's like double credit because I answered in both Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Then that would be 9-10.
Now you sound like some of those jerks that come out and play in my trivia nights.
Yeah.
Do I get more points because I was the first one to turn in my answer? If you were the first one to turn in your answer with a beer for me, then yes, you get extra points.
Exactly. Right. But that's only at sea level, too. So anyway. I'll see you.
All right, triple the points.
Exactly. All righty. Y'all have a good one.
We'll talk to you. Now we got to put the camera back in the puppies where it belongs.
The puppies.
Oh, and they are snuggling together. Who even? All right, be cute, kids. Be cute. This is a good time to plug the Wake.Pups.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
Do you want to do on this day?
Yes, I do, because you got to get out of here, I would imagine, too.
Yeah, but we'll do on this day first.
And on Instagram, for those of you that love following adorable animals, go to Instagram and you can follow our little ones now. This is my me and my wife's dogs. Joey is on the left. Roxy is on the right. And they have their own little Instagram account now, the Wake.Pups. And you don't spell out dot, like if you're following the
period.
Wake, it's a period,
Yeah.
the Wake period pups. And you can follow along. It's really cute, too, because my wife's having fun with it. And so she writes as them.
Yeah, it's cute.
Like, I don't know what today's is.
She said something about coming to the Wake.Show today.
Yeah. Daddy's taking us, into work or something, one of those kind of things. So, and if you are somebody who, when you see that kind of stuff, it makes you want to puke. Well, I apologize that you have such a dark soul.
Yeah, what?
And you don't love puppies. I don't know what's wrong with you. All right. On this day, how cool is that Jerry Rice video?
I know. Cords is right in front.
He texted me on Saturday night, too, and said, hey, I just watched Jerry Rice propose. Then he comes in here, tells the story. We go to Fire It Up. I just Google it, pull up the first thing I see, which is TMZ, and there's Cord's big old head right between the camera and Jerry Rice proposing. That's pretty cool. All right, on this day. And then we'll come back to stuff you should know today. Just to let you guys know what we'll be talking about. A little bit of Stormy Daniels, which you did not watch last night, right?
I didn't, but I'm very interested to hear what came out of it.
Exorcist, a priest who gets 99 years for trying to perform an exorcism that leads to death. Life for a cop killer. You heard me mention that. It's just a tragic story up and down. But could you imagine being in that courtroom and your lawyer's already told you he's probably not going to get death, and so they come back with a death sentence, and then the judge goes, "Oh, sorry, no, psych." So we'll get to that coming up. Also, what? Oh, Woman Marries Tree. That's in the state of Florida. Sorry, I've made things too small for myself. And Not Rude, Just French. I don't know if you guys have seen that story yet today. A guy gets fired and he's suing. And he's saying that, and this is coming out of Canada, he's saying he was fired for being rude. And he's like, I'm not. I'm, direct and professional and French. And this is the way that we are. So that's his defense. This is the way we are. We'll get to that story coming up on the Wake.Show. But right now, on this day in history, to put a little perspective, the reason we do this, and I know some of you already know, but the reason that I do this every single day is because I feel like on this day helps put things in perspective as we go through the news. And sometimes we see news that whether it's coming from the political side of things or other parts of the world, the financial side of things, whatever's sports, we after you're done freaking out, you can put it in this category of on this day. Because if you look back through all these dates, you'll see a lot of horrible shit that's happened, right? And we're still here. We're still moving forward. So here we go. On this day, and Sam, help me out if you see something that piques your interest. First thing up, this is the headline. And by the way, if you do this at history, this is where I go. I go to History Channel, history.com, and they always have their kind of headline. So I guess for them, this would be the headline of the day of all these on these days. So this would be in a ceremony at the White House. Egyptian President Anwar el-Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem begin to sign a historic peace agreement ending 3 decades of hostilities between Egypt and Israel and establishing diplomatic and commercial ties. Less than 2 years earlier, an unprecedented move for an Arab leader, Sadat traveled to Jerusalem, Israel, to seek a permanent peace settlement with Egypt's Jewish neighbor. All right, so that's 1979. Israel and Egypt sign a peace agreement. It's a good thing that they solved the Middle East crisis. Well, how is this? If this would have solved everything, then I think it's the headline. Otherwise, it should not be a headline. It's just another bump on the road to where we got, where we are today.
American Beauty tops Academy Awards. F. Scott Fitzgerald. That's a big name. Great Gatsby. F. Scott Fitzgerald.
His first novel was
I don't
published.
think that was The Great Gatsby, but that is the guy who wrote it.
What do you think it is?
I honestly have no idea.
It is This Side of Paradise.
I've heard of that. Haven't read it, though.
If I knew how to read, one of the things I regret from my... You can't go back, obviously. You can't regret too much. You are who you are. And when I was growing up into my 20s, if I tried to read, I would just fall asleep. It was a great sleep aid. But one of the things that I wish maybe we're more passionate about growing up, or something would have clicked earlier, and I wish I would have gotten to reading much earlier and then gone through all these American classics that everybody else knows about and studied in school, and I don't.
I like The Great Gatsby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't really care for it.
Really?
No.
The book?
No, I didn't read it, so I just watched it.
Oh, the movie was okay.
It was kind of
Leonardo DiCaprio one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
Well, just the story. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a pretty kind of basic storyline. But the book was really nice. They take a lot of details out, obviously, when they make a movie.
Let's see what else. Torture chamber uncovered in Philadelphia. This is in 1987. I don't think I want to click on that. I was only 14, 15 that year. All right, now I can't help it. Now I got to click on it. See, it's the salacious, non-important stuff that makes you click.
It's fair.
I'm sure it was important to all those who were tortured, but as far as, things that really affect the world. Responding to a 911 call, police raid the Philadelphia home of Gary Heidnick and find an appalling crime scene. In the basement of his dilapidated house is a veritable torture chamber where 3 naked women were found chained to sewer pipe. A 4th woman who had escaped and called the police. This guy was a former mental patient and sex offender who had managed to become a wealthy stock investor. You know, you try to go with the stereotypes, and you think if somebody reaches a certain place, they're not a certain kind of a personality, because otherwise the universe or God would not have rewarded them with such things. Former sex offender and mental patient became a wealthy stock investor. Well, he must have been doing something right. Smart. I don't want to stand the story.
He made himself the bishop of his own church so that he didn't have to pay taxes.
Smart.
Interesting.
1955, black music gets whitewashed as Georgia Gibbs hits the pop charts with Wallflower. Well, that sounds like somebody's interjecting some commentary in the headline there, so let's click on that one. For its time, the mid-50s, the lyrical phrase, "You got to roll with me, Henry," was considered risque, just as the very label of rock and roll was understood to have sexual connotation. Oh, that's hilarious. I love going back to this time to try to get in the head of the people that were trying to keep us, trying to oppress everybody. Mm-hmm. So rock and roll itself is a term for sex and of the devil. Rock and roll. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that's where it came from. The lines come from an Etta James record originally called Roll With Me, Henry, and then later named The Wallflower. Already a pop hit in the spring of 1955, but not for Etta James, re-recorded with toned-down lyrics by the white pop singer Georgia Gibbs. Dance With Me, Henry, Wallflower, entered the pop charts on March 26, 1955, setting off a dubious trend known as whitewashing. Okay, so I guess this wasn't, commentary. This was a thing. In addition to replacing roll with dance, the lyrics of the Georgia Gibbs version omitted lines like, "If you want romancing, you better learn some dancing." But its most important change was more subtle. Even in an era when radio audience rarely saw the face of singers they listened to, the rhythmic and vocal style of Georgia Gibbs' record made it as obviously white as the Etta James record was black. And while many Americans might have preferred the Etta James version to the Georgia Gibbs cover, had they heard the two in succession, they would rarely have the opportunity to do so. Pop radio was almost exclusively white in 1955, and middle-of-the-road artists like Nat King Cole and the Ink Spots were rare exceptions to this rule. Huh.
I love that. This is a random aside, but if you scroll down on that same page, I know that you just closed out of it. Oh, yeah. I love that it's like, you might also like history's most terrifying serial killers or the Kent State shooting. Like, what? That's just something that I noticed being like in advertising and marketing and stuff. It's just like,
right. I will
the placement of some of this.
It is interesting to me how many people are very, like, their thing are cop dramas. And when they're watching documentaries or they're reading stuff on horrible murder scenes from the past or serial killers. And so when I have some of these people are very, very good friends of mine, and when I'm having conversations and they're telling me, and we're in this discussion, I'm sure you've had this discussion with people too,
yeah,
where there's just some people that when they read or they're watching, it is about murder and serial killers. So in my head, since I can't relate, I'm trying to go, what the hell's this person holding on to? But it is so prevalent amongst most all of us. It is in whatever the driver is. I do not know what it is that attracts us to it. Maybe it's our curiosity of how can people possibly even get like this. Not that they have something that they're working out in their own head, but how do people get like this where they can just kill and kill and kill and not even bother? They just go on to the next one. But
I just thought that was interesting because it's like, you may also like this.
Oh yeah, you guys, if I pull that up, I don't know if it's going to come up. Yeah, you may also like history's most terrifying serial killers, the Kent State shooting, the BMW that Tupac was shot in. So murder.
Goodness.
U.S. cardiologists, I urge Americans to quit 3 foods. Well, obviously they've been tracking my dietary habits for quite some time, so they nailed that one. Most people miss this giant blooper in this iconic Forrest Gump scene. Those clickbait ones, I don't know why they annoy me. You should just look at them, not let it affect you emotionally, and then move on. Like one that I saw this morning was, I don't know, somebody that was hot in the 90s or 80s or something like that. Oh, no, wasn't even that far bad. Elin Wood, right? What was her name? Elin? Tiger's ex-wife?
Oh,
So
Yeah.
Yeah, the clickbait was her going, and this you see this all the time with different names, and it's
Elin Nordigan.
Elin Nordigan.
Grant.
Elin
Yeah.
Nordigan.
Yeah.
Looks nothing like we remember her. You know, you ever seen, they look nothing like you remember, or, oh my gosh, you won't believe what so-and-so looks like now. And you're like, son of a, I never click. I fight the urge every time just because it's a personal battle that I am fighting.
I just love the, like, right below the BMW that Tupac was shot in is 7 yoga poses you should do first thing in the morning.
Yeah. While I'm doing the 7 yoga poses I should do first thing in the morning, I want to be able to read the article about the BMW that Tupac was shot in. So there we go, clickbait. Speaking of, let's get back to our clickbait. And the Steamboat Yellowstone Jefferson presented with Mammoth Loaf of Bread. Well, now I got to read that one because it doesn't seem very important at all, of course. So that's why it's caught my interest. Jefferson presented with a mammoth loaf of bread. Do you know this story? Oh, you're bye, Sam. Bye. Oh wait, no, give us our quote. Give us our quote real quick if you have it.
I have it. Give me 1 second.
It's all right. While you're doing that, I'm going to click on this mammoth loaf.
Okay, I have it.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new.
Good one. I like that.
Albert Einstein.
Love that Albert guy.
Love Albert.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye. Just leaves me and the pups here. Oh, yep. So make sure you say goodbye to the pups on the way out.
Joey's coughing.
Are you over there hacking again, buddy? A little Yorkie cough. Go do some drinkies. Hey, buddy. All right. So let's see if there's anything else on this day before I move on. We're good. Which brings us now to stuff you should know. I'm going to run through this stuff. We only got about 10 minutes left. Every day, the Wake.Show is 11:11 to 12:12. Man, I do not feel well today, and I'm looking, and I do not look well either. Oof. I don't know what it was. I guess it was just one of those long weekends where you didn't give yourself a chance just to kind of relax. And had a really cool, by the way, for those of you that are looking for unique venues to get married or maybe you got kids or something like that, and they're in that phase of their life or something. I did a gig at the historic St. Pete Shuffleboard courts. Shuffleboard. And it was oh, you know what? I've got some pictures. Let me show you real quick. Do you guys care? Can I show you this real quickly? It was, it's really neat, but a cool venue for something like that if you're looking for unique stuff. And B, I guess they do events there like breweries will do events. So I want to keep my eye out for the next time that they're doing something there. Just get some friends together. Because I've never played, I don't know anything about shuffleboard, but it looked like fun. So, but I do have, I think, a couple pictures from then. Which, of course, I mean, it's Monday. I got to show you my, pictures from my private life, my personal life. Now that we're down to 3 viewers on Facebook, I guess nobody cares. Hi, bye, everybody. That was once there for 1 second. Psst. That's okay. It's all right. There's Chris. So this is from my gig on Saturday. So that's just some little art that was inside there. It's a picture of inside. That's the picture of the couple outside. And I guess maybe I don't. Oh, this is always, they were awesome. They had a cellist and a violinist, and they were doing all modern songs. They did everything from Portugal the Man to Lady Gaga and everything in between. I love that kind of stuff. So that was them. All right, here's the shuffleboard courts. This might be the only picture I have of that, but that was them during cocktail hour, I should say. While they're all getting pictures, everybody's just playing there. Oh, that's my little setup there in the oh, no, that's never mind. That's done. All right, see, not a lot of pictures today. You don't have to worry about it. We can get back to stuff you should know. When I was on the radio, dead air, as we called it, would drive me insane. Like those moments of being quiet, even if it's for a second. A second would drive me insane. But once I got into talk radio, it kind of, Jesus, come on, yo. Once I got into talk radio, realized there was somewhat, whoa, sorry about that, everybody. Here we go again. I'm going to F up everything. Come back to me. We can do this. Focus. Focus. All right. So then I realized that, or I learned that dead air, silence, is, can actually, oh man, I was sweating today too. Can actually, be beneficial. So, and not only that, but I started to do things that were out of my comfort zone in the last, I don't know, however many years. And I really, whether they're things that make sense to you or not, just places that are really, really uncomfortable and kind of sit there and until it's not. And so that was one of those exercises that I did along the way, that I could just sit in silence and not feel like I have to interject constantly. That if there is a little bit of silence, that I don't have to, fill that empty, that void. So let's get to some stuff you should know today. All right. First up, aliens. So, have you guys seen the skeleton? What are your thoughts on this bad boy right here? Look at that. Like, okay, well, that looks like the skeleton of a child. The elongation of the head there, yeah, that's a little odd, but we do know that in multiple places around the world in ancient times, well, hell, even in still modern day, we have a fascination with manipulating ourselves, our bodies, and so you wrapping up the head and letting the skull grow up this way is just one of those things that's happened in South America and in Africa, and probably other places. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's still places out there where they do this. So let's get to the story then, because they've had this. They found this 15 years ago in Chile. A mummified skeleton discovered in Chile's Atacama. I'm sure that's not even close. Desert 15 years ago. Doesn't look like anyone you've ever met. It's a skeleton conundrum made up of perplexing features. It's only 6 inches tall, okay? It's 6 inches tall. But initial estimates of the age of the bones were consistent to that of a child who was 6 to 8 years old. So this creature, this thing, this human, this alien, it's only 6 inches tall, but when you test out the bones there seem to be a child who was 6 to 8 years of age. Now, the long angular skull, slanted eye sockets, and fewer than normal ribs, 10 pairs rather than 12, only deepened the mystery. Questions surrounding the discovery led to speculation that it was previously identified primate or even an extraterrestrial life form. The skeleton, dubbed Ada, was featured in television shows and a documentary, Sirius, in which UFO researchers attempts to figure out the origin. Now, I don't know if you guys became big fans of Ancient Aliens like I did back. I think I don't know if they still will have series or not. They suck now. If you're going to watch those Ancient Aliens, you go back to the first couple seasons, and that's where all the goods. After that, the first couple seasons, you're throwing shit up against the wall and connecting dots from, you have to kind of cut ties with some simple facts. But once you do that, well, it's easy to do. Then you can just have some fun watching the show, and then it just gets more and more ridiculous after a couple 3 seasons. But anyway, now the authors of a study based on 5 years of genomic analysis wants to set the record straight. Ada is human, albeit one with multiple bone disease-associated mutations, and they believe that their findings could help diagnose genetic mutations-based causes for living patients. Well, so it's not an alien, I guess they're saying. Or is it a cover-up? Maybe that's what it is in the end. genetic mutations. Believe in aliens? Okay, there's two ways to look at that. Do you believe that there are other, sentient creatures in the universe? A. B. Have they visited here? A, I think, is an easy yes. B is a little bit more difficult. All right, let's run through some of the news of the day. Did you guys watch 60 Minutes last night? And if you or you were like me and you recorded it and you went back and then had to fast forward through 45 minutes of basketball before you got to the Stormy Daniels interview. A couple of things that came from that. Because in the end, well, I hate when I go down this path, because then all of a sudden I get Trump supporter, the passionate Trump supporter on one side, who will lose their shit in 1 second as soon as you say something negative about Donald Trump. And then I've got that other person that you couldn't say anything good about Donald Trump because he is the devil incarnate. So I got to get those two people out of my mind and talk to you, the normal. Well, I mean, as normal as anyone could be, people. So Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress who alleges that she had an affair with Donald Trump in 2006, says that she was threatened for attempting to tell her story publicly and accepted money through a Trump attorney to remain silent because she was scared for her family. This aired last night. I did end up watching it this morning, and my perspective on this is, on one hand, this story, if it's just a story about adultery, okay, well then are we going to go walk through every single president we ever had? Because I have a feeling that a minimum of 80%, if not higher, had extramarital situations. All right. And it's just based on the way the power works and so on. I could be completely wrong. We may have had a run of, I don't know, all of them that were the most perfects. But I highly doubt that. Where the story, the political implications that this story might have would be in campaign finance, and there may be something illegal there that Cohen, Trump's lawyer, paid her off 11 days before the election to influence the outcome, and that's illegal. Also, if it's a campaign contribution, you're only allowed to make, was that $1,500 or $3,000 or whatever that is? So $130,000 donation at that time would be illegal as well. But I mean, I don't know, where that's going to go, if anywhere. The other thing, though, that is interesting, and I think this talks or speaks more to the way that a lot of people in the world do business through thuggery. And this goes back to 2011 when a guy she doesn't know tracked her down outside of her gym while she was getting her baby out, her infant out of the car, and just walks up to her and starts talking with her, and allegedly, and said that Trump story needs to go away, and that's a beautiful baby girl you got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to her mother. And she said the reason that she didn't say anything at the time is she was just scared. She was freaked out. It came out of nowhere, and she was scared, so she didn't say anything at the time. But I don't know if that's a deeper discussion of the way that some people do business. Because again, I start to visualize a lot of those people that come from. I don't want to just say New York City, the big city, because then I go, you know what, that same thuggery and mobster kind of mentality can be found in small towns across the country too. So it is everywhere when it comes to people with power. And if they feel like they can send a threat somewhere, teach somebody a lesson to get their way, then they're going to do it. Not everybody follows the rules. When you set up rules for business and you set up the rules for a democracy, one of the first things that people do is to find all the loopholes in the rules and all the places you can bend and all the places you can hide from the rules. So I don't know what you guys thought about. about the interview or what you think about her. But what I would like to do here in a second is I have an interview with Stormy Daniels that Seth and I did when we were doing mornings at 97X. This was 2009. So this would have been less than 2 years after the alleged affair. But before this 2011, when she decided she was going to sell the story, and that's how all this went down, by the way. She decided she was going to sell the story, or somebody tracked her down and said, hey, we'll give you, I can't remember, 15 grand or something like that. I think it was $15,000 for her story. This is long before he decided he was going to run. This is when this would have been the Apprentice, era. And I guess they just wanted a salacious story on Donald Trump. So she goes to sell it to them. And then all of a sudden, allegedly, Cohen, the lawyer, threatened them. They shut it down. And then that's when that little incident happened. And she said she doesn't know who the guy was that threatened her. She thinks that it was, a heavy for Cohen. She didn't say Trump. She said Cohen, the lawyer. So that was that from the Stormy Daniels things. We'll come back to the interview that I have with her coming up here in just a couple minutes, and let's run through these other things. Trump expels the Russians. This is big news. President Trump is expelling 60 Russian intelligence officers from the United States and ordered the closure of the Russian consulate in Seattle altogether. So they're shutting down the consulate in Seattle altogether, kicking 68 out. 48 of them were members of the Russian embassy, and then 12 were associated with the UN. So they're out, and this is, as people sit there and wonder whether or not there was any kind of collusion between the Trump campaign, Donald Trump himself, or anybody associated with the campaign, and the Russians. A lot of people are going, well, he's not acting quick enough to denounce what happened in the UK. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Well, I don't know what this is. If this is just, it was coming, he just needed, the needed to go through the process. And so here we are. Or if this is a, more of a, the advice is, listen, man, the more you go after Mueller, the more you tweet, the more you, dance over that line of obstruction, you need to kick 60 Russians out of here, or so we have that in our pocket too. So I don't know how how that ended up going down at the White House, but there we are with that. Already played the effing Chucky thing for you a little bit earlier. I don't want to come back to that Aubrey O'Day thing. I don't care. Remington, this is bigger news too as we sit there and talk about. I don't say it's bigger news. It's just as we're curious on whether or not there's going to be a shift in gun culture here in America. Like which I don't know there can be, man. God bless these kids from Parkland and the movement behind them. But I fear that if there is that shift, or we're in that time where that shift is even possible, it's not going to come peacefully. Like all of a sudden, let's say this movement turns into something huge, and you've got 2/3 of governors, 2/3 of, and I don't remember all the numbers when it comes to amending the Constitution, which that's not what they're pushing for at all. They're not pushing for that at all. But there are those who are along the way. So if this turns into something like that, or then I don't think they're going to go, oh, well, we're following the law. We're going, and the amendment was amended legally, and so now we, the gun culture is changing. That ain't happening. It might happen for some, but there will be enough to go, this is what we've been training for. We told you they would come for our guns. We told you that Donald Trump would be, wait, what? Would be coming for our guns, and there'd definitely be a violent pushback, at least pockets of it. I don't know how big it would be. From my experience being more, raised in the South, and I don't know. Because there was those echoes in my childhood in the 80s of that there will be another war. The South will rise again. And it wasn't conversation that was had all the time. There was never, I'm sitting down in a serious conversation with somebody. It would be something they're throwing out in another conversation. Again, this was back in my teen years, the 1980s. That's almost 40. That's 40 years ago now, right? 30 something years ago now. And things have changed significantly. But there still was, I just still remember a couple of conversations that had to do with what side are you going to be on when the whites and the blacks start warring again. And that stuff, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. My family's not, even though I'm from Florida, I'm not like 6th generation cracker. You know, my parents are from Western New York. I was raised that we're all God's children, and we, you know, so that it just never was a thing, except here and there, you know, through my school years. So, but the Parkland movement so far is not about getting rid of all guns. It's about some very serious gun control, and we'll see how it plays out. But one of the biggest gun manufacturers out there, Remington, has filed bankruptcy. They're claiming that since Sandy Hook, they just lawsuit after lawsuit and low sales for whatever reason, because I don't know what that is, but has forced them into bankruptcy. So we'll see as this continues to go forward how this plays out. The Exorcist. These stories here are not salacious to me, because some of these stories go back to our freedom of religion, right? The freedoms here in America, whether we agree with you or not agree with you, if they turn out to be horrible, tragic decisions, well, it's on you. You know, you have certain beliefs, and you did your thing, So this is a back and forth that I've had many times with myself over the years. This story is about a pastor who starved a toddler to death, but she believes she's a prophet. She believes that what she was doing was starving the demon out of a kid. So, and the mother of the child, allowed all of this. So do we throw both of them in jail, or we go, welcome to America, you got freedom of religion here. Sorry you lost your kid. You might want to try praying to something different or reconsidering your religion. Or we just go, all right, that's on you. That's your kid. In America, you can terminate a pregnancy, and afterwards you can starve your kid to death if you think they've got demons that need to be exorcised. We're not going to get involved. But that's not, I don't think that's the world we live in. You know, when we're talking about freedom, there's some basic fundamental things that we're not going to allow as a civilized democracy. But how do you guys feel about parents who don't get help for their kid that's terminal, right? Or not even terminal. They got cancer that they can treat easily, but if you let it go untreated, then they'll be terminal. Should you, because the parents say, no, we don't believe in that stuff, we're going to pray, and it's in God's hands. Because on one hand, I'm not even a religious person. I was raised with religion. I have a certain amount I try to have a certain amount of respect. And no. I have a lot of respect for the people. I have very little respect for I have respect for the people and their beliefs. Everybody, for the most part. And so there's a part of me that goes, well, they're free to do, let them raise their family the way they see fit, even if it turns tragic. It's their family. It's their kids. But on the other hand, if I'm sitting there in front of that kid and I'm watching, these effing morons, because that's how it's going to register to me. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, look at these good people, and they're just as they're talking, I'm going to see the ignorance are going to come spew, and I'm going to get very angry, and I'll want to take their child away from them too. But how free is America, and how free should a free society be? For those of you that are a little bit more religious, one of the ways that I look at it is to give more and more and more freedoms to people, allow them to make their decisions, which also includes terminating pregnancies without you getting involved. Why? Because, and this only goes to my old religion, not everybody's religion is the same, but in my old religion, allegedly, we're given free will. But it's interesting to me how those people in the same religion, if they get power, want to take the free will out of everybody and force them to follow all the laws and rules that are written down in a book. So even if I were religious, I would go, no, give those people the right to do whatever, and then something else eventually will judge them. I don't need to. But that is not the world we live in, is it? It is not the world we live in. Next up, so the pastor in this, the 52-year-old, she will serve 199 years and a $10,000 fine. I'm not even, if you guys want to look it up, you can look it up. But if you want to go through the grisly details of this, that's on you. If you want to look it up, so you can put that in your head, that this child laying there who hadn't been fed for 21 days, how is he even still alive? 21 days. Not only that, but while he's sitting there, he's not even strong. I guess I'm getting ready to tell you some of these details. He's not even strong enough to hold his head up. This person, this human, who claims to be a prophet, put him over her knee and spanked the shit out of him. Oh, she wasn't spanking the boy. She was spanking the demon. The demon of manipulation, to be exact. The demon of manipulation, to be exact. But a lot of people believe this. A lot of people believe this kind of stuff. So here in America, should we allow it? If you believe this and you take your kid to a witch doctor or a prophet or a pastor or whatever, and they say, hey, I can get rid of whatever's ailing your kid, it's a demon, and they go through whatever, and they ends up scarring the kid for life or killing the kid, do you as a free society go, okay, that's on you, that's your kid, sorry? Or do we go, no, you're going, because this is what we're doing now. You're going to prison, and anybody else that tries this kind of crap is going to prison. I do like choice B. That's where we are. But there still is that back and forth I have. Let them make their choices. And however it plays out for them and their family, it plays out for them and their family. As long as it isn't affecting. But then, you're right. Great point. What about those two yahoos that were in the news a couple months ago out of California that had their kids chained to beds? They were so malnourished that they were adults. There were kids that were adults that looked like they were 12, 13, 14 years old because their growth was so stunted. So Fish, that first argument would allow for a family to do that, to just sit there and have kid after kid after kid after kid and abuse them for their entire life. And we would not step in and say a thing. So I think I just argued myself out of that. We got to draw the line somewhere. And I want to respect everybody's beliefs, be it religious, philosophical, your approach, your view on life, and let you have free will to do whatever, even if it hurts you. But I think I'm going to have to side with everybody else. I'm going to have to side with civilization, with society, and draw the line at the kids. Oh, then you're going to hop on board with abortion? Wait a second. Now I'm back in the same argument again. Back in the same place again. Next up, a couple more things, then I'll get to Stormy Daniels. Woman marries tree. Good. We're lightening it up a little bit. So my last two. I already touched on that. We don't need to come back to it. Oh, for those of you that are pop culture nuts, Star Wars, the Star Wars costume exhibit in St. Pete. Only 1 week left on that. I don't really care. I mean, I love Star Wars and whatever. I don't care about walking around and seeing the costumes or anything like that, but I'm sure that's cool for a lot of people. So if you've been putting that off, you have 1 week left on that one. There's the pastor. Okay. So Florida, I'm going to drop that. Florida woman marries a tree, as you see. Woman marries tree, and it's a 100-year-old tree. So we're going to talk about the age difference here because that's what's important. Survey. No, I don't want a damn survey. All right. No thanks. So Karen Cooper was ready to go out on a limb to save her beloved tree. Here's the tree. Give you a nice little shot because maybe the tree's hot. You never know. Sometimes trees can be. No, looks like kind of a tree needs to do its hair. specifically a giant ficus that shaded Snell Family Park in Fort Myers for more than a century. The tree became the center of a neighborhood controversy when city staff began discussing cutting it down last year. Cooper, who lives nearby, mobilized. The news press reports the effort that culminated with the waterfront nuptials Saturday, complete with flowers, music, a tree-decorated wedding cake, and a canine ring bearer named Little Bear. So there you go. There's a picture of it there. See, this is the good kind of crazy. See, there are different kinds of crazy. There's the kind of crazy that, where children end up dead at the end. And then there's this kind of crazy. And she just loves this tree, and she's going to marry the tree. Now, I'm not sure if she's that kind of crazy where she's truly in love with the tree and feels like she should be able to marry the tree, or if this is just a ploy to try to get more attention drawn to this story so that this tree doesn't get taken down. But I guess what it is, I guess the controversy itself is that the tree, here we go, though rooted on city property, so the tree is rooted on city property, some of the Indian laurel's 8,000 square foot canopy, wow, that's big, 8,000 square foot canopy and root system extends to a neighboring lot, which is for sale for $1 million. So I don't know if it's the person in the neighboring lot that was like, hey, listen, I got $1 million property here that I can't sell because your roots are ruining it, or how this went down. But she obviously doesn't want to take it down. And it's a story coming out of Florida. So we can be proud. Woman marries tree. Please don't be Florida. Please don't. It's Florida. The story, not rude, just French. So this is a guy in Montreal who was fired for being rude. He's suing for discrimination because he's French. And he's saying that's just the French way. And now he does not say that he is rude, by the way. This waiter says that he is direct, honest, and professional. His direct, honest, and professional personality is what got him fired. Which is what all assholes say. Every dick on the planet, they don't know they're assholes. They just think they're right and they're blunt. They're direct. They're willing to give their opinion, and they're right all the time. So I'm assuming that's where this. So I don't even know where this is going to go. So right now in Canada, they're deciding whether or not this person was discriminated against. I have a feeling he's going to lose, because otherwise he's going to get up there and go, I'm just French and we're all dicks. So what do you expect? By the way, that was me being French, since I was being so direct and professional and honest in that moment. No, see, that is a stupid question. What a stupid question. I was getting ready to say, well, could it be true that all French are assholes? And I'm sorry that even entered my head for a second. Could you go find those stories? I'm sure you could. Could you go find the stories of all the obnoxious, rude, dick-headed Americans around the globe too? Yes, you could. Could you find stories of all the rude, dick-headish Chinese that are traveling the world? Yes, you can. Which brings us, ladies and gentlemen, for your enjoyment, a little Throwback Monday. A little Throwback Monday, going to my days at 97X and doing the Morning X with Seth Kushner and Danielle Belusky at the time. Danielle McBroom now. She does mornings over at Magic 94.9, and he is currently the executive producer of Drew Garabo Live at 102.5. Well, we had Stormy Daniels roll through in 2009. Or I'm sorry, 2008. This was published October 13th, 2008. And so this would have been 2 years after the alleged affair with Trump, but this would also have been 3 years before she decided to try to make some money off or go public with it, and then got threatened by she does not know who. She does not know. She knows. She said she would remember the guy. If the guy walked in the room, he showed him a picture, she would be able to pick him out in a lineup, no problem. But she does not know who it was that threatened her and said, it'd be a shame if something were to happen to that little girl of yours. So, for your enjoyment, it's only a few minutes long. 4 minutes it is. Enjoy Stormy Daniels from 2008 on, I guess we were called Fisher and Boy back then. As later on we changed to the Fisher and Seth, but that was a long fight.
And 1, 2, 3, go.
Cut. Cut. I can't do this. I'm walking off the set. I'm walking off the set.
Have any of your actors ever got mad at you for the way you were directing them at all, or nothing? They've never got into it with you?
No, and I think that's one of the advantages of being a female director is because I don't have to deal with the guy's ego. If you have a male director telling a male performer how to do his business,
right,
and you're all ready to go, and in
right.
your testosterone fueled moment, and you've got some guy telling you how to do it,
of course,
you might get a little. I've seen them get a little
right
backs up, like
when directing.
But they don't give me that because I'm a check.
When directing the movie, what's the number one thing that you have to tell a guy when he's getting ready to do a scene? Is there something you have to tell a guy over and over again at all, or no?
Yeah, open up to camera.
I don't even know what that means, and I don't want to.
That's the number one thing I say.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, when you get in the moment, you want to get close and you want to do your thing. But the biggest difference between having sex on camera and having sex at home is you do what feels good.
Right.
And obviously you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sex on camera is not what feels good, it's what looks good. Right. So you got to really cheat your body open so the camera and the light can get in, and that's probably not the best sensation. But the guys get in the moment, and,
it doesn't
one
matter
track mind.
And it doesn't matter anymore with Viagra too, because you don't need to be in the moment anymore. You can do pretty much whatever the director tells you.
Right.
And let me ask you this now, as a director and a female, because I haven't seen any of your work as a director. Are you when you need that transitional scene? Are you somebody that goes to the guy's face when he's making that goofy ass face? Are you somebody that shoots like a plant in the corner before you go to the other scene? You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what I don't get about porn. They're mainly there's always shots of this guy going, and you're like, what? Why did they ever show that?
It's called a setup. And the reason for that is that a lot of guys, when you're ready for the conclusion of the scene, they're not ready. And so
psychologically, it lets me know that he's getting ready so I can get ready.
It's a cutaway shot. And there's maybe 15 minutes of him trying to prepare himself that you never see, but we have to cut away to something.
No, you don't. You can cut away to her going, "Oh, it's about time. Good.
I do try to stay on the girl. No one wants to see the guy.
How does a guy get into the industry right now? Like, if a guy wanted to get into one of your movies, are you only working with people who have done it before, or do they have to try out for you?
Because of the type of movies we do, because they are scripted, we only work with guys who have proven themselves.
Okay.
And if it's
you're not looking for any amateurs walking off the streets.
No, we're not. And the reason for that is we might shoot, like I said, a gonzo is just if you can't do your thing, then no big deal, no harm, no foul. We'll get another guy. It doesn't matter. No one's ever
Didn't
the wiser.
Cost you much money.
What if I've shot you for 4 days before you've done your actual sex scene, and I've got you in all this dialogue, and you're fitted for your wardrobe, and I've sent you to fight training and rehearsals, and then you can't do your scene? I am out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
A business mogul. I love it.
All right, now as a director, if a guy is not able to perform, is there something that you whisper in his ear, something you tell him, or you just let him handle that on his own?
I direct naked.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Because I have had that happen.
That's what I was wondering too. If you're going to stop, and you ask the guy to come over and say, "Hey, I need you to do that." I'm thinking Stormy Daniels, just kind of take off your top.
I do. I've done it before.
And then just kind of reach down, and while you're talking, say, "Hey, I need you to do that." You just sit there and you hold his thing in your hand, and as you're telling him what to do. Where a male director can't get away with something like that.
Right. And I clear the set. I tell my crew, because you got to remember, I got 20 crew guys looking at you, going, "Can you just hurry this up so we can have lunch?" Right. You know what I mean? That's a lot of pressure. And so I tell the crew, I'm like, "All right, everybody, let's take 5. I need a few minutes alone with
that's awesome.
With Randy here."
Now, what I didn't realize.
And I excuse everyone, and then I talk to him. And
well, hell, I was just getting into the interview. That was back in the day when at 97X with Seth and I and Stormy Daniels came by the show. And that's cool too. You notice that was only a one shot there. It doesn't cut to Seth and I, because this is long before all this great technology that I have in here, and video encoders, and I don't know what. Here's what we would do. I had a MacBook Pro, and when we'd have guests come through, I'd set it up in front of them and open it up. Actually, before they came in there, I would set it up. I'd hit record. And then I would put on my screensaver, so they didn't know. And you had the little eye hole there, the little camera there at the top of the MacBook Pro that would record these things. And then I'd layer in the audio because if you go back and listen to it, you're like, man, that's some solid audio coming from a laptop. But I would layer in the audio from the radio feed on top of it, and then we would make that, because obviously that interview was a lot longer, but we cut it short for video's sake. And so there you go. It was back in 2008. And what'd you guys think of the interview too? Or not her. She's very professional. This is one of the things she said last night too in the 60 Minutes thing, is that when her and Donald first started talking, he started just talking about himself. And he's like, "Hey, look, I got this new magazine," and he was showing her the cover. He's on the cover of the magazine, and he was all about him, me. And she said something to the effect of, "Does that usually work?" And he looked at her confusingly, and she's like, "You just sitting there talking about yourself." And she said he just looked perplexed, and she goes, "Somebody should spank you with that magazine." And so next thing you know, he's dropping trow in a joking way. And she said it was not sexual. It was joking. He had his underwear on, and she smacked him on his butt a couple of times. But she goes, that was the moment things changed. He started talking to me like a human, asking me questions. And that's when that I don't call it a relation. Well, it was somewhat of a relationship began. She said they ended up having sex that night. She goes, it was consent. Oh, this was another interesting thing that came from it too, because one of the things that Stormy Daniels wanted to point out to everybody is that this was consensual, because those with the Me Too movement have used this as said, see, here's another, guy with power taking advantage. She's like, stop. This was consensual sex here. There was no forced anything. Do not include me in your Me Too movement. She was very adamant about that. And one of the reasons why, too, she said, is because there are real victims out there. And she doesn't want to lower the bar because this was her choice, her decision. Yeah, she didn't really want to do it, but she did it. It was still her choice, still her decision. But that's also too with the on the Me Too side of things, you'll have professionals and mental health professionals on that side say, yeah, but see, there you go. In that moment, let's play this back for you, and we would like to show you what victims do in their head to justify things. And because she said multiple times that it was her fault, that she put herself in the situation. She put herself in the situation. She shouldn't have been up in his room like that, done it. She put herself in the situation. And that's where those in the Me Too movement and even broader will go, whoa, wait, that's you as a victim trying to rationalize something too, so you can have control over the situation in your head, psychologically. But in reality, that's what victims do. And so we'd like you to come over on our side and say that you were a victim, but that's a discussion for another day. That was it for the Stormy Daniels things. Thank you so much for being a part of the Wake.Show today. I'm going to go get some sleep. I don't know what. I just did not get enough sleep this weekend. I'm going to go get a couple hours before I cook dinner for my beautiful wife tonight, which I'm looking forward to. Pork chops. She pulled them out of the freezer this morning, and they are thawing now. And I cannot wait to make some pork chops. Plus, we got some extra mustard to go from Boulevard Burgers yesterday, and they have they go back and forth. I don't know if it depends on the price, but my wife is a mustard connoisseur, and she was very excited to see that the old mustard was back on the menu yesterday. So we got an extra serving of that to go with the pork chops tonight. I love it. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day. Have a great Monday. I hope your week goes well, and we'll be back here tomorrow. In theory, the Wake.Show is live every day, Monday through Friday, from 11:11 to 12:12, 11:11 a.m. to 12:12. I see we went a little long today. I'll try to do better tomorrow.